You have the power to change lives in Greater Waterbury and the Litchfield Hills when Connecticut Community Foundation teams up with Ion Bank Foundation to present Give Local. During this online give-a-thon, we invite you to support local nonprofits that serve our neighbors and make our community a better place for everyone. On April 29th through the 30th, go to givelocalccf.org. Choose from your favorite nonprofits and make a gift. It's that easy to be a hometown hero.
Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kenneth Lundquist Jr. I'm here with Diane Plock, the administrator from the Arts and Culture Collaborative Waterbury Region. Thanks for joining us today, Diane.
Thanks for having me.
Sure thing. Well, I'm glad you're here. We've got a lot to talk about with the organization and some upcoming initiatives. So my first question, can you share some of the mission and vision of the Arts and Culture Collaborative Waterbury Region and how it has evolved since its founding in 2006?
So the basic mission and vision has not really changed. How we achieve it and how we're working at it has evolved over the years. Of course, adapting to the various circumstances such as the pandemic. So the Arts and Culture Collaborative was really created to strengthen and support the arts in the Waterbury region as a central component of furthering economic and cultural development, and to enhance the quality of life for all the area residents. Of our 16 towns, we do cover 16 towns in and around Waterbury.
Wow.
So we cover Waterbury, Wilkett, Watertown, Woodbury, Thomaston, I don't want to miss any, Southbury, Seymour, Prospect, Oxford, Naugatuck, Middlebury, Derby, Cheshire, Bethlehem, Ansonia, Beacon Falls.
Wow, what a region, indeed. So with this giant region, what are some of the key challenges the organization faces in promoting and supporting the arts?
Well, I would say one of our biggest challenges is funding. We need financial resources to carry out our services. Our four basic pillars of service are promoting, connecting, collaborating, and advocating for the arts. The most prominent one of those is promoting. We do a lot of promotion for all our members' events, so they can leverage their marketing with us. So they have their own marketing, but we have a monthly newsletter that goes out to over 30,000 contacts, and a weekly newsletter that goes out to a smaller, more focused audience of about 600 people. So it takes manpower, it takes some other resources and tools to get this done. So keeping us financially sound is a challenge that we work on constantly. And we keep our membership dues nominal. So we don't want to make it too expensive for our members. We do receive some grants from Connecticut Office of the Arts and from Connecticut Community Foundation. And of course, it's Give Local campaign, which usually goes on during the end of April. We also get a grant from Waterbury Arts and Tourism Commission. But in seeking sponsorships and other financial support, we feel like we're really competing with our members, and we don't want to do that. So we try to be careful about going after the same kind of funding that our members would go after.
Right.
So I would say funding is one of our challenges. And when people can give to something like Give Local, it really benefits us because it's their donation, but then it's leveraged into more money with bonus funds and support through the whole Give Local campaign and the sponsors and partners that Connecticut Community Foundation works hard to bring on board for that for all the nonprofits.
Wow.
And I would say our other challenge is finding all the artists and our organizations that could benefit from our services and for them to be members with us, so that we can get that little bit of income from them, but provide them with a variety of services.
Absolutely. One could say that the organization's story is the member's story. in essence.
Yes.
That's
yes.
great. That's so great. Well, moving on to some program development impact, what would you say, how does the collaborative strengthen connections and collaborations within the arts community, especially in diverse populations?
Well, I just mentioned the newsletters, which is one way that we strengthen that collaboration. We help our members get the word out about what they're doing, and we get the word out about what we can provide, our 4 pillars of promoting, connecting, collaborating, advocating. So that's one of the things we do. We do hold periodic lunch and learns for our members. And we do that on Zoom for convenience purposes. Right now we tend to do them at noontime. We may move the time around. But we hit on topics that we think our members would like to hear more about that could help them in their business. We've done things like grant writing, how to use Canva to help their marketing, the use of video in their marketing and their social media messages, learning about free and low-cost legal services for artists and arts organizations. And then that Lunch and Learn is also an opportunity for our members to get together and to share best practices, to share their own challenges with each other. How do you handle program books? We do ours electronically now. We still do ours by paper. Whatever the topic is, it gives them a format to share. We're hearing that people want to get together in person again. During the pandemic, we were forced to do things on Zoom. We do it now. We've gotten into the habit. I think a lot of people, a lot of industries have gotten into the habit of doing things on Zoom because of the convenience. You don't have to travel. If it's bad weather, you don't have to worry about that. You just hop on the computer. So we still do a lot of stuff on Zoom. We do a lot of our meetings on Zoom, but we do want to get back to more in-person programming. And one of the things we used to do before COVID, BC, we did Out for Art events where our members were able to showcase their work, whether it was visual art or performance. We often combined it with another organization. For instance, one time we had it at Seven Angels Theater. At a time it was like late afternoon, early evening. And then Seven Angels had a show that was going on at that time, so they offered half-price tickets to the participants and the attendees of our Out for Art. At the Out for Art, we had people who had tables and showcased their artwork, showcased their promotional materials, and it gave other members and the public an opportunity to see what our arts members, our arts and culture collaborative members had available. But doing it in conjunction with Seven Angels, people came in early for the show, got to see who we are, got to see who our members were, and then everybody benefited if they wanted to stay for the show. Right. So we want to get back to more of those in-person events. And when we can, we combine a social gathering with, say, a meeting. We just had our annual meeting, and that was very good. We did kind of a community dialogue with our members, getting input from them on what's working, what's not working, what do they need more of, how can we service them better. And we did it at Palante Theater, which is the black box theater affiliated with the Afro-Caribbean Cultural Center right in downtown Waterbury.
Wow.
So people got to see that new black box theater. They got to see each other in person. And the discussion that we had led to a lot of conversations, I noticed, afterward. So we had a little, food and drink available. People were able to network. We got some business done, and they got to see one of our own local arts assets.
Absolutely. Wow, that sounds fantastic. Well, that goes right into your community engagement. So how does the collaborative engage with local artists and organizations to foster the collaboration and advocacy for the arts?
Well, we do, those Out for Art events are on our bucket list to get back to. to do more often, to do what I just mentioned about the annual meeting and gathering. But currently, an initiative that we're doing is a series of community dialogues, mostly in person, where we're going out into our communities and talking to residents, not just artists. We like to have artists and arts organization leaders there, but we really want to hear from the people who live in town and see what they're doing for the arts. Lawn concerts in the summer, local theater, community theater. Where do they go for their entertainment and to get their arts and culture, that dose of arts and culture that everybody needs?
Right.
So we're going into the communities. We've been doing these community dialogues for several months and getting this information. What's working, what's missing, what do you want to see for the future? And we've been combining them, maybe doing 2-3 towns at a time. Say we did Naugatuck, Beacon Falls, we did Middlebury, Southbury, Woodbury. We're doing the lower Naugatuck Valley, Ansonia, Seymour, Derby, Oxford. So we're inviting people to give us their input. So that's a great way. We're finding that very, very enlightening to see what people need, because you can get caught in a bubble and just get input from the people who are on your board or committees, but it's the audience that you really have to reach.
Right.
So you can do all the arts and the shows you want, but if nobody comes, then what are you doing it for?
Right.
So getting this input from residents who would be the patrons, who would be the people participating in these things, has been very revealing, and that's helping us. It's feeding our reassessment of our strategic plan, which we're working on.
Excellent. Wow.
So, and in terms of advocacy, the Arts and Culture Collaborative has been a member of the Connecticut Arts Alliance, which is a statewide advocacy group that inspires support for the arts. So a big part of that is making sure that we are seen at the state level with legislators, to make sure we get in the state budget, to make sure arts and culture has a place in that budget. So, and I was on that board for a number of years. I think it was about 10 years. And then we rotate off and let newer people come on and such. But we're still very much in touch with all that.
Wow.
And I guess I can either talk about it now, or I think we're going to talk about partnerships, but I do want to talk about the other organizations like ours, the designated regional service organizations.
Absolutely. Well, feel free to expand right on that. Yeah.
Well, there are 8 designated regional service organizations, as we're called, through the Connecticut Office of the Arts. We work with them, in conjunction with them. We get a major grant from the Connecticut Office of the Arts. So these organizations, these regional organizations, are throughout the state, and together we cover all 169 towns.
Wow.
So that's a great network for us to share best practices, what we're doing. We're all formed a little bit differently. Like, we fall under the auspices of the Greater Waterbury Chamber of Commerce Foundation. We're housed in the chamber offices, which is great. Good location. Other regional service organizations might be their own nonprofit, operating outside of another umbrella organization. But we do similar things. They do a lot of promotion. They do programming. It varies a little bit, but it's a great way to see what the other organizations are doing, how people in the arts are being serviced elsewhere in the state. Mm-hmm. So we learn from each other. We grow with each other. And the advocacy, we band together for the advocacy.
Wow.
So.
That's a fantastic network right there
Yes.
of support and
It really
encouragement.
is.
Wow. So right along with that vein of thought, what strategies does the organization use to ensure inclusivity in the programs that are maybe underrepresented in the groups in Waterbury throughout the region, or maybe even some of the other DRSOs that are working on some initiatives as well that coincide with yours?
So these community dialogues are really helping us to identify who might be underrepresented in the communities and what groups, and to ensure that inclusivity. So we also ensure a good cross-section of people on our committees and our board. Our board is really called a governing council, but when we're seeking out people who could help us on the board, we're really looking for a cross-section of people from the different towns, from different organizations, not just from the arts. We do have quite a few people on the board who are in the arts, but we also want people in education. We have somebody from Post University on the board, for example. From our chair of the board right now is Dr. Lisa Dresner from Naugatuck Valley Community College. So we do this, we really try to get a diverse cross-section in our committees and with their organizations so they can help us reach out to new audiences that we might not know about, that we might not have connections with.
Right.
So this opens up the door to more connections.
Wow, that's fantastic. So in addition to the strengthening of the connections within the community, how about some of the partnerships that also enhance the programming that is offered, maybe through some of the museums and theaters in the region, for example?
So Connecticut Office of the Arts is one of our partners. Connecticut Community Foundation has been a good partner, basically with good support with grants.
That's right.
And again, through Give Local, through Give Local's exposure on such a widespread giving day, other people who might not know us might learn more about us through Give Local, because there's a lot of arts organizations who are participating. And people with Give Local tend to give to more than one organization. They go in and they go to give, and then they say, well, who else should I give to? Maybe I'll give $20 here and I'll give $20 there. So our exposure and our partnership through Connecticut Community Foundation has been really good. And both that foundation and Connecticut Office of the Arts often have programs that benefit us too. They connect us to other opportunities, training, and all kinds of grants. So that's a partnership. That's partnership on the financial side. We also have the Waterbury Arts and Tourism Commission who supports us. Our members are really our partners. And we started just before COVID, unfortunately, it was just before COVID, a partnership with the art and partner, capitalized, which basically started from a ticket surcharge program that was initiated by the Palace Theater when both the Palace was coming back online about 20 years ago, and that we were starting up. And the Palace executive director at the time, who's still the executive director, Frank Tavera, wanted to give back to the Arts and Culture Collaborative to help all the smaller organizations in the area. They felt they were the big guy coming back, into the limelight, and they didn't want to overshadow, and they wanted to give back. So they put a 25-cent ticket surcharge on tickets to give back to us, to the Arts and Culture Collaborative, so we could then, in turn, help our members promote, connect, collaborate, and advocate for the arts.
That's incredible.
So that's been a great partnership. And we turned it into a program where instead of just membership, we have our basic membership, but then we also created tiers through this partnership program where other organizations can, if they want to, they can collect that ticket surcharge in any amount that they want and help pay for more customized and expanded marketing. So we have an e-blast that can go out to that wider audience of 30,000, and they can be a part of that for an extra fee. So I don't want to get into all the details of that. It can get complicated, but if anybody wants to learn more, they can certainly go to our website, which is waterburyregionarts.com, and learn more about our partnership program or membership. Our events calendar is on there for all our members, which is another collaborative thing that we did with all the other designated regional service organizations. We all signed on to a service called Civic Lift, which brings all the calendar events into one portal, if you will, and then gets distributed accordingly to what you sign up for. We want all the arts and culture events that are happening in our 16 towns.
Right.
So somebody can go on and sign on in Thomaston. Well, then theirs goes to us, and then the Northwest Arts Council can pick it up, the Waterbury can pick it up, other organizations that subscribe to Civic Lift can pick those events up. So that organization only has to enter it once, and their news gets disseminated more widely.
Wow, what a great tool.
So
Incredible.
if people are not part of our e-newsletter, it's free. They should sign up. Again, go to the website and sign up for it. So.
Wow. Well, there's so many wonderful things that the organization offers on itself for all of its members and the region. And then, again, that statewide network is just paramount, really, to get everything across. So you've done all this wonderful collaboration and connection together. Is there any upcoming programs or events that you might be having that you can look forward to with the members or other organizations throughout the state?
Well, the other kind of partnerships I didn't mention are community partnerships. Because we're under the auspices of the Waterbury Regional Chamber of Commerce Foundation, they manage Main Street Waterbury. So we're also kind of partners with Main Street Waterbury and the initiatives that they do. They do Brass City Jazz Fest, for instance, which is music.
Right.
So we try to get involved with them and the other downtown initiatives that they do. Our connections with our larger partners like the Palace and the Post University have helped us. Post University worked with us. We actually gave a project to one of their master classes in business to help us with our strategic planning. So that was an interesting partnership. And then we collaborate with others, such as in the past we've collaborated with Spirit of Waterbury. Last year we collaborated with St. Vincent de Paul Mission Store. They wanted to do something in the arts. They had an idea of take a chair and show you care. Well, the idea was to take a chair and make it into a piece of art. And we said, well, we have to promote that. We have to get our artists to do it. We have to promote it. So we collaborated with them. It was a fundraiser for them, but it allowed us to reach a different audience and to allow other people to get to know us, but for us to do our goodwill in the community, giving back to another nonprofit.
Wow.
And as far as the future, we are really reassessing our strategic plan now, and these community dialogues are going to be crucial to finding out and determining what the needs are for our services and what initiatives might be affected. So we're really taking all that in right now and reassessing that. We have a strategic planning retreat planned for the end of May, and then we'll really be looking at what do we need to do different, what's working, and new board members and new members will always bring new ideas to the table too. So we've learned, especially over these last several years since the pandemic, that we have to pivot. We have to pivot with technology, we have to pivot with circumstances, we have to pivot with the level of funding we get. So, but we've made it through. We've made it through since 2006. And with people's help, with support from the community, with donations to Give Local, we can keep moving forward.
Absolutely. Wow, what an incredible story, I must say. Well, in closing, any special remarks or anything else you'd like to add?
I think to just thank people in the community and to thank our members and our supporters, our grantors for the confidence that they have in us. We work, with a skeleton crew and a minimal budget, but we make it happen. So we just need that support to keep on. And I hope if somebody hasn't learned about us before, that they maybe saw this and will visit our website, again, waterburyregionarts.com, and like us on social media and get to know us better.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. Well, one could say that supporting the arts and culture is also supporting one's community.
Yes.
Which is
absolutely.
fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Diane. Again, Diane Plock from the Arts and Culture Collaborative, Waterbury Region. She's the administrator. I'm Kenneth Lundquist Jr. Thank you so much for joining us today. Enjoy the day.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ray Hardman for the Connecticut Community Foundation. And together with Ion Bank Foundation, we're inviting you to Give Local. This 36-hour Give-a-thon supports hundreds of nonprofits in Greater Waterbury and the Litchfield Hills. These organizations provide vital services and programs that benefit everyone in our region, like the arts.
Our objective is to provide a place of creativity for everyone. The joy and happiness you see on the students when their finished pieces come out of the kiln, you can't put a price on that.
To allow everyone in the community to actually have art in their life, whether they can afford it or not. Give Local allows us to open that door for every single kid in our community.
Give Local is April 29th and 30th. Make a difference in your community. Go to givelocalccf.org. Choose from your favorite nonprofits and make a gift. It's that easy to be a hometown hero.